like this last election, there was polls done. People were asking women, why are you voting for Kamala Harris? Well, reproduction rights. We want to reproduce. Trump constantly was saying,
basic cash flow like wheat, rice, pulses to 880 million people every month.
Black Lives Matter. It was a guy, unfortunately, died while he was overdosed on drugs. George Floyd. A cop, like, they had him pinned to the ground. The movie I'm doing with Yesh, I have a lot of prosthetics on. Okay. They make me look.
Hi, Namaskar. My name is Sushil Singh. You're watching Ecolist. Today we have a special guest. His name is Kyle Paul. Mr. Paul has been a star in the Hollywoods, the Bollywood, as well as the Tollywood. He is working with Yash in one of his projects. He did not reveal the name. He has worked as an actor in 49 different movies. Some of the names are, which are great series like Blue Bloods, Gotham, and one of the series for which he's got a lot of accolades is Knights of the Cross. This series got 8.6 rating on IMDb, and he acted as Good Frey of Bullion. Special Agent Abbott, he worked with DEA Crimes. It's a TV series again, 2022. The best thing about him is that he is a non-filtered, a great human being. He speaks his heart. Whatever comes to his mind, he will tell you. And the lovely thing about him is that he will treat you like an equal, like a friend, instead of, all that persona and phoniness which all these Hollywood boys have. He's one person who's down to the earth. So I personally enjoyed talking to him. Let's meet our brother, Kyle Paul.
I mean, what? Yeah. So the new rule in America is like, if a man transitions to be a woman, you can call him a she when you can't tell that they are a he. If they look like a pretty girl and you're like, oh, hi, you're a pretty girl, then who cares? But when it's a guy with like a beard and he has makeup on and he has like fake boobs, you're like, you don't work in my head very well. This doesn't match to me.
I'm not just well titted, I'm well endowed.
It's so weird. It's just like Arnold Schwarzenegger and bodybuilders.
Oh.
So like Arnold Schwarzenegger is so big that we start processing his muscles as like tumors and cancers because they're so big and bulgy.
Yep.
No time in human evolution were muscles ever that big. So we look at it and we're like, this isn't right. Something's wrong with you. And no offense to like transgendered men in particular, but when they don't pass physically their face, but then we see boobs, we literally have that reaction like, ooh, you might have tumors or cancers, and that's what there are, and you're a man, because we're truly not processing them as a woman. And I think that's where that little...
So, 4 million years of evolution, right? It is in my DNA to see a person with a beard and think, that's a man. It's been 4 million years, okay? I look at a woman at her tits or at her back only because I've been made like that. It's part of my evolution, right? How come suddenly a guy comes and says, you know what? I think I'm a woman.
It is a very frustrating time in America. You have these men that are wanting to be women, and it's kind of a mix of both. And our heads are like, no, you're a man, but with some woman parts, and it doesn't compute in our head chemically. This is evolution. We're not built. That being said, my niece is dating a transgendered man, so a woman that is transitioning to a man. I can't tell that she's not a man. I don't have that click. I don't encourage that relationship because it's harder than normal relationships, but I have no problem because she passes as a man. But in Hollywood, you'll see, like, I'll go to auditions with guys that have beards, but then they'll have like fake boobs, and then they'll be wearing pants that are showing off their butts, which is fine.
With a big dick.
Yeah, and you're like, yo, you're impressive. You are bigger than.
Let's exchange it.
Yeah, you're good, man. I'll take your place. No, it's just such a confusing time. And then like, man, gyms here, women are very conservative. They cover up, but like gyms in America, the number one piece of gym clothing the last 3 years that were sold are yoga pants that slide up the girl's butt, lifts the butt cheeks, and separates them. Literally, the yoga pant
that shows the bikini line. How it is.
shows everything. And we're supposed to be like, no, I'm not going to look. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
we're chemically designed to look at that stuff, but then we're creepy if we look at that stuff, even though you're showing it. So it's like, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't right now.
So I always use an example that a woman, a married woman, was having sex with another person.
Okay.
Okay. And then her husband and one of her husband's friend, they catch her while having sex with another man.
Mhm.
So while they were torturing her, what are you doing? Is this the right way? I mean, you're cheating on me and this. And while doing that, the woman was wearing her clothes. The woman, she's well dressed. She goes back to the husband and said, "What was I doing here?" It's like, "You were having sex with him." She's like, "No, I wasn't." What do you mean? Then he says, "I have seen it by my own eyes and I've heard it from my own ears. And my friend also seen you having sex with that man." And the wife is like, "Okay, so you'll believe your friend, your eyes and ears, not me?" Wow.
Yeah.
Imagine the situation. That's what is happening in America.
Yeah, we call it gaslighting, and I'm sure you heard it. And I mean, everybody does it, men and women. But like Kevin Hart has a big joke about this. He was like, my wife doesn't trust me. I was going out and I hear this weird thump in my trunk. I get out, open my trunk, and my wife pops out, scares the hell out of me, and runs back to home. I get back and he's like, "Bitch, what were you doing?" "What do you mean?" "I've been here cleaning." "No, you popped out of my trunk." "That's insane." And he was like, after a few minutes, I started to question if that's really what happens. So I think
So that reminds me of The Dark Knight, the
Hmm.
movie,
Yeah.
in which one of the accountant finds out who Batman is, and if you remember,
Oh, yeah,
he goes to Morgan
yeah.
Freeman and says,
You're right.
"So your man is a Batman, and you're making this," and Morgan Freeman like, "So let me get it straight.
That's
So
a
one of the richest men in the world, he's going out in the night and beating people to the pulp, and you want to blackmail him? Good luck."
that's a great example of like gaslighting. That might be like one of the most famous versions of gaslighting in entertainment, not like politics and news. News is
So what are
constantly
your views
gaslighting.
on Donald J. Trump?
I like and dislike him. I like a lot of what he's doing. I don't like a lot of what he's doing. I dislike when he gets attention from the media because they're generally focusing on the most surface level, non-problem things. So like this last election, there was polls done. People were asking women, "Why are you voting for Kamala Harris?" "Well, reproduction rights. We want to reproduce." Trump constantly was saying, "Me as a president, I am pro-choice. You can have your abortion. Me as a Christian man, I am pro-life." He's like, "I'm not going to let my opinions as a man affect my presidency." Constantly, he was like, "I'm not going to take these rights away from you." The news constantly was coming out saying like, "Oh, he's going to take away your rights," and people believed it. So there are things he's doing I really don't like, but when they focus on crap like that, I'm like, nothing's going to get done. Anyone who has listened to him once know you're lying.
Absolutely.
So it's things like that that really frustrate me with this. I like that he's different. America is really messed up in its government right now. Nobody trusts the government. So why would we vote in another Obama or another Kamala Harris? She literally said Biden was doing everything great. I'm going to do the same thing as him. And we were like, yo, we didn't like what he did. Why would we vote you? And so what was our choice other than to vote in Trump? He was something different. Who knows if that's going to end up good, but it's hopefully a step in the right direction.
But the resilience of Donald Trump, like the fight thing.
Dude, yeah, that I will go to my grave saying this. That one picture won him the election.
Absolutely, without a doubt.
I mean, he got shot and it was a nick, so not a big injury, but like immediately to stand up and fight, blood on his face, flag
He knew
right.
he's a media guy. He knew
Yeah,
that this
you
is my
know,
time.
he. I mean, I guarantee there was a mix of like, I have this actual emotion. Where's the flag? Step.
Did you hear when he was saying, "I want my shoes"?
Shoes, yeah, what was that? I'm like,
Do you know
dude,
what he was saying? Let me tell you.
Oh,
what he was
tell
saying,
me.
what he was doing. He wanted to get his shoes because he wanted that picture.
okay.
Believe me, because all of them were on his head. They were like, Mr. President,
Sure.
Mr. President, and he was like, "Oh, where the hell is my picture?" Like, I'm getting my shoes because they all wanted to push him
Oh, you're
out of the stage. He was like, "Okay, let me first get that picture, guys."
he is such an online personality. I mean, he had one of the most famous shows for what, like 5 or 6 years, The Apprentice. He knows how to be on air.
Yeah.
I guarantee he was like, I guarantee he was probably pissed, but then he was like, oh, this is an opportunity,
Yeah.
and jump up. It shows a lot of grit. I don't know if I would have the courage to stand up after
True.
somebody just
Because
shot
there
at
might be
me.
other people.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have had the courage. It's hard. You can dislike him a lot, but ooh, you can't fault him on that.
Mhm.
Nobody's gonna be like, you're a coward. How
No,
dare
no
you?
one can. Even when he's going on all these foreign tours, I see a kind of respect for him in the world leaders because everybody who's a world leader puts himself in his shoes and thinks, oh my god, I would have just chickened out. You know?
Yeah, I
So,
mean, his first presidency, I'm sure so many people are like, yo, this guy is a
he's lucky,
talker.
yeah.
You're a paper tiger. You look scary, but then if I touch you, you're made of paper. You're not really. Something like this happens, you're like, guys, should we rethink our opinions on him?
Yeah,
Because that was kind of hardcore. That was like an action hero moment.
yeah.
So I
In India, these days he's hated. I hope you know that.
no,
He was loved when he got elected. Like from the India-Pakistan war, he's been hated in India from last 3 days.
really.
Yeah. From last 3-4 days, he's been hated. Everybody, all the mainstream media is actually trashing him these days.
I have to get my news in media secondhand because Hindi and Telugu I
Yeah.
can't speak. So what happened? Last I heard, he was like, Pakistan, India, make peace. Don't make me choose because I'm going to be on India's side.
Yeah.
I'm paraphrasing. That's the last I heard, and
No, what
Indians
he
were like,
did-
"Yay!"
What he did was first he released that $1 billion from IMF to Pakistan.
Okay.
Second, he came out publicly and said it was me who brokered the deal, and that's why India is silent. Now, the problem with two alpha men like Mr. Modi and Trump,
Mhm.
so if you try and take a credit of mine, I'm gonna fight back. So Mr. Modi said that you know what, I don't think nobody brokered the deal. It was me who decided to stop punishing Pakistan.
Okay.
And that's where things went to. And then Trump again went to some in Qatar at the army base. He went back for clarification that I never said I was middling the deal, but
gotcha.
people misunderstood and this and that. But then he's still being trashed in India as of now.
I mean, I bet Trump can get away with that with a lot of countries because America leverages
Yep.
so much against them. But India is literally the only country in the world that can be self-sufficient.
True.
If everyone stopped trading today, India is going to be the most well off.
Yeah.
So
Do
India,
you know we are feeding, like I will not say feeding because these people are still okay, they're doing good. We are giving ration, basic ration like wheat, rice, pulses to 880 million people every month.
really,
Yeah.
I knew India kind of struggled with their social healthcare or their social safety nets,
Mhm.
their free medicine, the free housing, what not free but cheap, whatever it is. I didn't know they were giving out that amount of food.
No, we are giving it. We are giving, and I criticize it because I'm a businessman. I'm like, you have to spend that kind of money on startups because we'll give more jobs, but we do that. The government,
880 million.
million people,
Where are these just people in India?
just people. In India has 1.42 billion people.
Right.
So out of that, 880 million people get these free ration every month.
Really?
5 kilos of wheat, 4 kilos of rice, and 2 kilos of pulses.
Is it because they can't
We
afford
started
it?
doing that in COVID
Okay.
because in COVID people were at home; they had nothing to do.
Sure.
But in India, when we start something of social welfare, we always chicken out pulling it back because we think we'll lose the election.
Oh, we
So it's continued. Okay. Now thinking about Donald Trump's presence in front of the camera, I was listening to Bill Maher once.
Okay.
And he was saying that the day you realize how you are in front of the camera, or the day you can find yourself in front of the camera, you are reborn. You will win the world. Do you agree with that?
Um, to an extent. So very fortunately, I have a pretty decent social media, and because of that, I've been
I love it.
Thank you. It's I try to be silly, not be serious. But because of that, I've been connected with a lot of other influencers. My younger sister has like 4 million followers. My older brother has 2 million followers, and they're all different genres, different things. And I've come to see that with social media, people are very inauthentic a lot. And no offense to India, particularly in India.
Yep.
Men and women are very concerned with how they are perceived here. They're like, I always have to be cool. I always have to be sexy. It's like pulling.
More than that, sorry to interrupt.
Please.
More than that, I want to be in the good books of the people who are watching me. For example, I
Mhm.
asked, do you want beer, cold drink, coffee, tea? Have you been an Indian guest? And I said, do you want beer? It's like, I don't drink, but he's still drinking. But in front of the camera, he'll be so inauthentic, saying, "I don't drink." But go ahead, I'm sorry.
I don't. No. That's a great example. With social media in India in general, these people try to be what they think other people want them to be. So we know for certain there are three things that make a video go viral on social media. It is authenticity, vulnerability, cringeworthiness. If you have some combination of that, it's probably going to do well. We've been watching movies with genius actors for so long. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, they have billions of interactions every day. We have the data showing that authenticity is key. We're watching so many people. We've gotten to the point where we're like, ooh, you're faking it. Ooh, that was real. You're faking it. That's real. So as of a few years ago, I think you could get away with having a weird persona online where like, I'm always the sexy girl working out. I'm always motivated. And now, because they're being a hyper stylized version of themselves, they're not doing as well, which I love. I think people should be more authentic.
Absolutely.
That being said, I'm sure there's still times that I will censor myself as well. There has to be. But so when it comes to these online personas, and I'm not saying any actor in particular, I just did a movie with Yesh, the KGF guy, freaking so nice. He has such a big, strong presence. And then he says, Kyle, how are you? What's that, buddy? And he's just like, he doesn't need all the attention in the room. He just sits there quietly and will have a conversation with you, even though there's hundreds of people watching. It's really cool. He went from this quiet guy to this, in his movies, he's this big persona. That was great. That's acting. I have done other movies where the actor is the same on screen and off screen. But then as we're talking, they start letting their walls down a little bit. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I was just having a conversation with you as a character and not as a person. Like, I feel like you were misleading me that whole time. I think that's safe to say for most people. I mean, what's that saying? Never meet your hero?
Yeah, the phony people. The term phony. You know.
Yeah, I would. I'm not going to, I don't want to say
No,
phony.
but not in the Indian scenario, because I want to bring you back to the Hollywood.
Please.
Take you back to the Hollywood. The entire Hollywood, in the elections, especially in the elections of the President of America, for the first time I've realized how inauthentic, how fake they are. It broke my heart, actually. It genuinely broke my heart, because all of them were my heroes. Michael Douglas was my hero. Tom Hanks was my hero. And I'm getting a little choked up saying this, because I just told you, like, I've watched 5,000 to 7,000 English movies. Michael Douglas, Leonardo, what is the name of that guy who was up in the air? George Clooney.
Oh, George Clooney, yeah.
All these people, such great people in my eyes, and all of them lost authenticity when they all supported a person. And nothing against her. I'm sure she would have tried her best. But they all supported and said things which were so inauthentic and actually foolish and were lies.
So obvious lies too.
I don't watch Tom Hanks movies anymore. I don't want to watch that face. I don't like Leonardo's face anymore. I just changed the channel. I'm like, I don't want to watch you. They lost my respect.
I feel so bad. I can't remember who said it. He's a really famous actor, and I'm spacing his name. But he said, I'm a jester. I'm a jester. That's what I do. I make you laugh. I make you cry. I just shut up and act. Don't ask my opinion about politics. That's not my job. I don't want to get on camera and you to think about my politics or my personal life or my kids or my drug addiction. I don't want you to think about anything. Just see me in the character, and that's it. I think it's Jake Gyllenhaal.
Okay.
That was like,
He's cool.
Great, super famous.
He was he had made no comments in the entire election. Again, thank God. What's the name of that guy? Angelina Jolie's ex-husband.
Oh, Brad Pitt.
Brad.
Yeah.
He didn't say a word. I was like, thank God.
Yeah.
He saved him for me. I want to watch his movies. I continue want to watch his movies, but
Yeah, it's just these people. I think they're in such these bubbles in Hollywood. They have so many people around them just repeating the same opinion and just being yes men that they think everyone in the world is like that. I can't remember who the celebrity is. She's pretty famous, recognizable, not super famous. She moved to Ohio or Idaho, somewhere else, and she got out of the bubble and she was like, Trump is evil. Right-wing people are evil. And she got out there and she started living with these people, and she was like, no, they're very reasonable. They're just like me. They just slightly different opinion.
What about you? Were you also surrounded by people who were like, because what happens once you're famous, okay, once people start knowing you, then you get into that idea is that I think I'm always right. Because the people around you are there, yeah, bro, you're always right.
Luckily, I have friends and family that are good enough to keep my head shrunk. I have 5 brothers and 2 sisters.
Oh, thank you to your father.
Yeah, they're
Thank you so
freaking
much.
great.
Yeah,
I love them. We grew up in like military bases and tight communities. When I go home, they're the people I hang out with,
Mhm.
like my brothers and our long-term family friends, and they'll be like, "Yo, you're kind of a diva now. Come on, Hollywood, Hollywood, come on."
The biggest one. Don't be a bitch.
Yeah, I freaking I love it. The other thing is I'm gonna destroy this saying. Somebody was talking about athletes, and they were saying the reason athletes stop becoming the greatest athletes of all time is because their talent takes them to a place their character cannot support. So you give like a 21-year-old kid, 22-year-old kid,
Yeah.
crow after crow after crow, and then you put them in a situation where girl after girl is coming at them, like you're probably going to be
Yep.
messed up emotionally. It's why child actors are always on drugs.
Yeah.
And so fortunately in my situation, I was writing and acting for 12, 13 years before I started making some living. And I'll be honest, when I started making my living in New York, which was like 70 crow a year, but in New York, that's like, I still need 5 roommates. That's what it's like there. My room was literally from these chairs to this wall. That literally was my
So
space.
you will feel lucky.
Yeah, and yeah, you're not wrong. And I started getting a little arrogant. I really did. I was booking a lot of commercials. Oh, I'm freaking amazing. And then Black Lives Matter hit. And do you know Black Lives
Yeah,
Matter? Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. For everyone who doesn't know Black Lives Matter, it was a guy unfortunately died while he was overdosed on drugs. George Floyd. A cop, like they had him pinned to the ground and all these medical issues. And for the entire summer, there was pro Black Lives Matter movement. And the movement at its most idealistic, the most romantic, was Black people are more harshly punished by police, when actuality it was hurting anybody who isn't trying to idealize, uplift, favor Black people. So during this time, I went from making like 70 lakh a year, the rules went away,
Okay.
completely gone overnight. I'm not exaggerating. I was going to maybe 7, 8 auditions a week to nothing. The white male roles went to ethnically ambiguous roles. And then after a month or two, the white roles came back, but I didn't know anybody that was being cast. And so I was so angry at Hollywood. I was trying to be on their team for like 13 years. I was saying what they wanted me to say. I was George Clooney.
Even if you didn't mean it.
I did mean it. I was forcing my mind to agree with them. I wasn't thinking of the logicals in it. They would say, "This is our opinion as Hollywood." And I'd be like, "Okay, I see how you got there." Yeah. I never thought of well, what are the ways this might be wrong? And I started losing role after role. I would have contracts signed, and then like the day of, they would give it to somebody else. And then in a fit of rage, I moved to China.
Okay.
I had to get out of there. And I'm so happy I did. I despise Hollywood right now. I am so happy they're going away. Hollywood's dying. And Bollywood and Tollywood. They're all dying. And I think they need to die. And what's happening is little bit. So there's a company in Utah in America, Angel Studios.
Okay.
They're run by Christians, and they wanted to make a TV show about Jesus doing what Jesus did, but really cinematic, really good actors, really on gorgeous locations. They had the stories. They went to Hollywood, and Hollywood was like, "No, we're not going to do something about Jesus." Okay. They crowdfunded. They said, "Audience, we want to make this. Will you help us make it?" So people donated tons of money. They went back and said, "We have the money. Just help us make it." And they're like, "No." They said, "Okay, we're going to make it." And the local religion in that area, it's a pretty big religion, Mormonism, they were like donating filming location. They're like, you want to tell a story about Jesus? Great. We'll donate all these film sets to you. They made it. They went back to Hollywood with the finished project. They're like, "No, we are not going to distribute it to you. We're not going to put it on Netflix. We're not going to put it on any channel. We're not going to put it on Hulu. We don't care if it's good." So what they ended up doing was publishing it themselves. They literally just put it on a website. They put a bunch of episodes on YouTube for people to watch. And then they're like, "Hey, you want to watch the last 2 episodes? Come to our website. You'll watch a short little commercial, and then the rest is free. You don't even need to make an account." That's what's happening with everything now. And Hollywood, enraged. Like, how dare you be successful without us? No, we're the ones that tell you if you get it. And they were just like, no, we're good. We're going to keep doing this. And they've been success after success after success. So now all these people are doing the same things. Have you seen the vertical dramas that are getting popular? So this is all China makes right now. They make TV shows that you watch vertically. You watch vertically on your phone, and they're 2 to 3 minutes long.
Okay.
That's it. And there's like 70 episodes. The first 15 are free, but then everyone after that is 50 rupees, 30 rupees. So it's so little, you don't really care that much. And they're killing it. That crushed the entire Chinese industry. That's just starting to get popular in America. That's just starting to get popular
Don't
here.
you think that Hollywood is also learning its lesson? For example, did you see Tom Brady's roast?
I saw bits of it, I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
In
that was good.
Roast, in that roast, I think they destroyed whatever Hollywood stands for. So Netflix allowed it to happen. I was surprised.
Sure.
I was surprised Netflix allowed it. Netflix is the most Netflix is so lefty that if they play cricket, all of them will be left-handed. They're so lefty. Donald Trump calls them lefty lunatics, but yeah, I believe lefties. Netflix is very lefty. So that's what I'm saying. That they allowed Tom Brady's roast was surprising to me.
And to advocate them, I agree with you. Netflix was like, oh, your story has to do with a transgender black boy. Here's all the money in the world, make it. And they were that way for a couple of years. And I think they course corrected pretty quick, because like Kevin Hart had a transgender joke in one of his comedy specials, and it was a nothing joke. It was not a big deal at all. People tried to cancel it, and Netflix was like, no, we're going to keep it up. We're
They
good.
allowed Joe Rogan. They came up with this special. I mean,
Yeah.
Joe Rogan special on Netflix is surprising. Actually.
So I think Netflix has learned their lesson. Disney still hasn't. Disney is.
Can you play that on YouTube? Can you play what Ricky Gervais said in BAFTA or Golden Globe? Ricky Gervais.
Oh, when he's roasting all the celebrities.
He said, when you win your award, come here, get your award.
Thank your little god and shut up. You are in no position. I watched them.
The smallest one, maybe a short or something, when he says, come and get your award and get the.
I watched these when he was hosting. The second he stopped hosting, I stopped watching.
Yeah, he is a genius. But don't you think that Ricky Gervais, even his stand-up comedy.
Leonardo DiCaprio attended the premiere, and by the end, his date was too old for him. So Apple roared into the TV game with a morning show, a superb drama, a superb drama about the importance of dignity and doing the right thing, made by a company that runs sweatshops in China. So, well, you say you're woke, but the companies you work for, I mean, unbelievable. Apple, Amazon, Disney. If ISIS started a streaming service, you'd call your agent, wouldn't you? So, if you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world. Most of you spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg. So,
and then he drinks the beer right after it. That's so gangster. I love that. Nobody dislikes him.
Can you go back on the Twitter, like not in this one, but go on another this one. Yeah, this thing. Click on this. Okay, just see the kind of losses Disney has.
Yeah.
थोड़ा ऊपर कर. Okay. Year net income loss, DTC streaming loss, theatrical losses, content impairment, and other notable. Lost 5 billion in 2020. Nothing was lost in 2021. Nietzsche lost over noted 46.6 billion of market cap in 2022.
There.
2023 none. Nietzsche. Then 2024 2.1 billion. Star in India, like the Star Jio's Hotstar. And 2025 his data is not available. Just look at it.
And I think these numbers are actually better than the actual numbers.
True.
So if you remember like Captain Marvel, when that movie came out, theaters were booked full. And then people would, like the real operators, they would take a photo and it would be completely empty. But then they would show the picture of every seat being booked. So I think Disney was like buying tickets to inflate their numbers. So I don't trust this at all.
But let me also tell you something. I like the determination they have. They're dying, but they're still not.
No, I feel like they're just trying to, they're sliding down that hill and they're just clawing to stay.
I'm so sorry.
You're very okay.
They're dying, but they still want to die.
Yeah, I mean,
they're like suicide bombers. We are killing ourselves.
Yeah, I don't know why they thought throwing agendas into movies worked.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if the actor is trans or gay. Don't just make it a good story and the trans or gay actor just give a good performance.
Yep.
Instead, they're like, well, we got a gay and trans actor. Come and see it. Like, I don't care about that. I care about a good story. And I think they just got confused. I think they thought they were so big they couldn't fail.
Yeah.
And then like
absolutely.
Star Wars
That's
comes
arrogance.
out.
Yeah.
Star Wars comes out, all the other movies and TV shows come out, and it just tanks. Mandalorian, I was so excited for that TV show. Every week, I'm like, is it Tuesday yet? And then it just fell off immediately when they started putting an agenda in there.
But don't you think that what I thought when
Hmm.
I saw this, that that like for example Disney or anyone else, we the people, we decide if they will be success or if they fail, because if they're going crazy, we course correct them, automatically.
A
And that's
smart business person
Yeah.
would accept that.
Yeah. But that's where we are wrong now, because what they are trying to do is they're trying to come up with artificial intelligence robots.
Mhm.
So what we say doesn't matter. Like a rich man or a big politician in a democracy is scared, or even in China,
Mhm.
they're scared of people's uprising.
China in particular.
Yeah, in India too, in a rich and powerful man, he wants to make as much money as he can, but he still wants to give the freebies so they don't come and kill him
Oh,
and
yeah.
take all his money at the time of revolution. So what they want to do is they want to make these robots.
To do what?
So robots are non-empathetic pieces of machines.
Okay.
So let's say if tomorrow, as a businessman, I'm making more and more money,
Mhm.
and you decide to bring up your revolution, I don't have to get into it because I'll just give a command to my robots.
Oh, gotcha. I'll be honest, I've never thought about that.
Mhm.
I would hope these people aren't thinking like that.
I think that's where they're thinking these days. That's where they want. Because I'll tell you one thing. One thing, because especially in a country like America, where Mangione decided to kill that United Healthcare CEO.
Oh yeah.
He decided to kill him, and when you go through the whatever information is available publicly,
Mhm.
you find out, okay, Mangione was absolutely wrong in killing him, but United Healthcare's the decision making when they denied 30% of insurances.
Yeah. So for a little context,
Mhm.
this is a CEO of a giant healthcare company. When he took over, they started denying 33% more cases. Denying.
In India, do you know what is denial percentage?
No.
Less than 1%. You can't fuck around. If you have insurance company, you are less than 1%. Less, I can give you the data.
Less than 1%
1%
denial.
Denial. Yeah.
Great.
99% is approved.
Then that's exactly what an insurance company should do. And I'll be honest, I've never had a fear of my insurance company not approving anything I went after, but I know there are a lot of people that are worried about that. I mean, in our system, I don't know if it's the same here. Our system is like the earlier you start buying insurance, the more likely they are to approve you for things later on. So if you've been with a company for 10 years, they're like, hey, after 10 years of being with us, if you get cancer, that's when we'll approve it. If you get it in 9 years, we're not going to approve it. You haven't paid enough into our system to offset our costs, our
In
risk.
India, it's 1 year, 2 years. Can you check? When insurance starts covering cancer, Google it. When Indian insurance company start.
And just to be fair, I just made up that 10-year number. I actually,
I know.
because you can, it depends on the company. If I would go for the cheapest plan, it may be 10, 15, 20 years. If it's an expensive plan, they'll be like, great, we'll start covering you in 2 months. So it really, really depends.
Okay. Did you find out? Grok this bitch.
What's Grok?
Seriously.
I don't know.
It's funny.
Is
My,
that-
my viewers will be very happy. See, an American doesn't know Grok, and we do. Grok is Twitter's artificial intelligence.
Oh, isn't it? Yeah.
Like Gemini and ChatGPT. So
ChatGPT. I didn't know that. Is it better than them?
At least it's a little unbiased. For
That's-
example, ChatGPT would try and teach. I feel as if I feel like slapping ChatGPT sometimes.
Okay, sure.
It's like I'm asking a question, do this to me, and ChatGPT is like, you should not think like that, bitch. I have
You
a
know,
question.
yeah.
Don't try and course correct me.
Okay.
You
Then
work for me. I paid you.
I'll go to Grok because there has been moments. I was talking to a friend and they're like, 50% of all marriages in America get divorced, and I'm like, that's not actually accurate.
Mhm.
Most marriages stay married. It's the same people that get married and divorced,
True,
married and
true,
divorced,
true,
and
true.
and they destroy the ratio. I have a brother that's been married and divorced 3
I have heard
times.
so many examples myself, and I get surprised at why the hell would you divorce a lady? Like if you fight, what makes you divorce her? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, does India have no fault divorces where you can just say we're done with each other, we get to divorce?
these days, see, I have a theory on this that India is also being affected by America.
Yeah.
The reason why we're getting affected by America is because Donald Trump has stopped shit in America. He stopped woke. He's like, at least he's pushing hard.
Right.
Okay, so he's stopping woke. He's stopping those blue-haired, idiot-looking people from
Yeah.
everywhere. That flag. So he's stopping everything.
Mm.
So what is happening? Which is the next biggest democracy with free-minded people? It's in India. So that is being exported and funded in India now.
I
Believe me when I tell you.
yeah, I think and not knowing Indian culture well enough,
In India, you will not find divorces easily.
which is great. I think we should get rid of no fault divorces. I'm just not in the mood to like you anymore. Like emotions change so quickly.
Especially when you're full of estrogen.
Estrogen.
Yeah.
Like I love women, but it was something like 80% of all divorces in America are initiated by women. It's like 90% if they have a college degree. So
Wow.
yeah, it's a mass of the divorces. So women, for some reason, they're just getting to this place where they're like, emotionally, I'm not happy with this anymore.
And with whom would you be happy?
Yeah, and that's where I think they're a little confused. Feminism has some good traits and bad traits. One of the bad traits is it's telling these women when they're 30, 40, 50, whatever it is, you're amazing. You're perfect just the way you are. Any man would be lucky to be with you. But then they get divorced, and dating's hard for a single mom of 2, 3, 5 kids that she hasn't been using her degree for 5 years, 10 years, whatever the amount. It's really hard. I know more than a few girls that got divorced and they just stay single.
Yeah.
I'm not advocating them staying in like bad relationships. I'm advocating to try to fix those relationships.
Me and my wife,
Mm.
she went to an Ayurvedic hospital. She'll come. I'll make you meet her. Me and my wife, we have fought, like pushing each other hard.
Mm.
It's like, don't come closer to me. I never pushed her because I'm a little more powerful than her, but she did it.
Okay.
We never even thought of a divorce. That's not even an option. That's not even a thought.
I think that's exactly right. That's healthy. From what I understand, they did a survey in America asking women if they have backup plans. So if you and me are married and we're happy, I still have a guy that I keep some type of contact with. I'm like, if this goes bad, I can get with him. I'm like, you're setting yourself up for failure.
Absolutely.
You need to shut that down. You can't be friends anymore. Get rid of it. And it was like 70% of women had backup plans. It's a crazy number. That's probably wrong, but like, ooh, you can't do that. That's toxifying your relationship right away.
But okay, all right, they must understand. What I hate is these rich, elite, Hollywood-style women who tell every woman that, you know what, you can be anything you want to. No, bitch, it doesn't work
No.
like that.
You can't have it all. Men can't
Yeah,
have it all.
yeah.
We can't be the perfect father and the perfect businessman. You
I
can't.
still feel guilty that I haven't given enough time today to my daughter. I feel guilty.
See, that's a great emotion to have. I bet you would feel more guilty not being able to provide her a home.
True.
Yeah, it's just you have to give and take. If I had a choice, I think women are better with raising children than men. So if I want them to have a more successful, healthy life, then I'm going to let the person that's better at it do it, and I'll work the big long hours. I'll leave for 3 months to work my movie to come back and
Yeah.
apologize. And now I can spend 3 months being with you. That's not always the case with every couple. But I mean, if it's worked for thousands of years, there must be something right with it.
You can't be victim and powerful at the same time.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
at the same time, you can't. I don't need men. And then, can you give me the what do you call it?
We're in a patriarchy. I'm
Yeah.
not where I want to be because of men, but I'm a big, strong, independent woman. I'm an egalitarian. Equal rights for everybody. Great. Solid. Equal rights. But like this current wave of feminism
Mhm.
that is happening, I'm strong, I'm independent, I'm fierce, but I'm also oppressed. I'm also a victim, and I can't do what I want. I'm like this. You know?
I need all the element in the world,
Yeah.
but I don't need you.
You know how messed up in the head these young ladies have to be able to think both of those things at the same time. How I can't imagine doing that. I'm strong, but I'm a victim. How confused you must be.
No, this is where one of the questions which I wrote for you. And it was why I wrote that question is because you made a video on. Can you play his video?
Old brand.
Did you guys see Disney's hiring practices? I only know this because Disney is part of Hollywood, and I've spent 20 years. I'm not exaggerating. 20 tens of thousands of dollars being trained. I've never heard of an actor being better trained than me. Not saying I'm the best actor by any means, but I haven't heard of many actors being more trained than me. I made myself look really unique. I tried to make myself skinny, no beard, curly hair. I gave myself a giant beard, lots of muscles. Nothing I could do could get me into Hollywood. Nothing.
So, the best look I liked of yours is this one, which you have right now, and one in which you had that black beard and curly hair.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was coolest look you had.
I appreciate it. I won't lie.
Mhm.
The beard is like a safety blanket. It was a comfort blanket. You know how everyone was forced to wear masks during
Yeah,
COVID
absolutely.
for a year, 2 years, and then we take it off, and you're like, you can see my face. My face is naked, and you're like insecure. That's exactly what the beard was.
It's,
for me.
it's like a face tanny.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. It was like whenever I acted, I always had a little bit of a mask on. You couldn't get to me, and it's easier to be an actor with a beard, at least in my case. When they can see my whole face, that's hard. This movie I'm doing with Yesh, I have a lot of prosthetics on.
Okay.
They make me look. I can't say much, but it's going to be hard to recognize me.
But
in
you are that villain.
I am.
Okay.
It's hard to recognize me. But it took several hours to get the makeup on, and it was full acting through a mask. It was hard. Constantly, Yesh and Gitu, the director, she's great. They're like, "Damn it, Kyle, bigger." I'm like, "I'm trying. I'm acting through a giant mask here." But I felt so safe.
But I love the way you copied this.
Yeah. I can't do the Indian accent without the wobble anymore. I'm sorry, Indians. I love you, but there's
But you might have seen me doing this.
yeah.
Yeah, you might have seen. Okay, yeah, you're right.
I think
But
yeah.
I have intentionally stopped myself from doing this.
Yeah.
It was not easy.
Yeah, you're so often in America. I bet you kind of picked it up there, the mannerisms.
Yeah.
I think the last like 10 years, having the Desi
But I
wobble
think, but
would
let me
help
tell you one
you.
thing. An ancient place which is as ancient as ours is 5,000 years old history, and and the people who are cultured from such a long time. Maybe this is the best way to talk.
I mean, it's
maybe
an
this
old
is how
culture.
you're supposed to talk to people because it keeps your head in balance.
I have-
Mr. Smith, how are you?
I have so many stupid jokes trying to just exactly that concept where I'm like, guys, India, Sanskrit, Hindi has figured it out. Kuta, that A makes it masculine. So all dogs are boys. They knew it. This is science. Dogs are boys. And cats, Bili, that E makes them girls.
Yeah.
Science, they
For example,
figured it
this
out.
is Delhi.
So many jokes. I'm like, see, India has it figured out. Therefore, it must be this.
No, but our languages are always scientific. Like the movies you're working in South, especially Tamil language and Tamil, Malayali. Sanskrit is the mother language,
Mhm.
and the Tamil language is the only language which might be a little older to Sanskrit. Might be.
Really?
Yeah, a little older to Sanskrit. But most of the words in Tamil and Sanskrit, a lot of words are similar. So they are like either they are at the same time, and they are like sister languages. They exchange, some of the
Okay.
words as it is. So I think that Tamil is a little older to Sanskrit, but otherwise, Sanskrit is mother of even all the English languages, German languages, even French.
So
Sanskrit is the mother of all these.
How did Hindu become the official language of India
Okay, don't get me started on this.
then?
There was this Prime Minister of India whose name was Jawaharlal Nehru. Okay, he hated being Hindu. He always said that I am something Christian by studies, or can you find the exact quote of Nehru? I'm accidental Hindu.
Oh, was he
On
like
Google.
was he Western
He
educated?
was Western.
Gotcha.
He was a very son of a very rich guy, entitled man. And that brings me to my question of let me read his quote and then I'm accidental Hindu. Okay, all right. So he says, by education I'm an Englishman. By views on international, I'm by views on internationalist. By culture a Muslim, and Hindu only by accident of birth. So he never liked being Hindu,
Okay.
according to his own statements. So what happened with him was that he thought that people should speak English and I somehow understand his idea that he wanted poor country, people are mostly illiterate, so the world's language was English. So if all of us can speak in English, we can get better jobs. And I understand his idea. Maybe that was it.
Yeah.
But when I read this statement, I feel as if he intentionally said it because somewhere he didn't like the Hindu culture and the Sanskrit language. Because Sanskrit language is one language, you will find common words in Hindi, you will find common words in Marathi, Malayali, Tamil, Kannada, uh, Odia, Bengali.
Okay.
Sanskrit is everywhere.
Okay.
So had he when the Jews decided that okay, let's make an Israel, the Zionist Israel.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jews, I love you. I'm just using the term from internet.
Oh, okay. I was like, that's a little aggressive.
So then they made that country. The question was the same, which was in front of Nehru, that which language should we push for?
Okay.
And they said, no, we are going to bring our language, Hebrew, back, and we are going to speak that language. It took them 7 years, and the entire country was speaking Hebrew. So India could have been that country. It's just that the accidental Hindu decided that we don't need.
That's America tried to make Americans go to the metric system, and we couldn't even make that work.
America. Sorry, you're an American. Americans are. I have worked like 10 years in call centers. So let me give you some examples. I was working for Microsoft as a call center agent. So when I took a person's computer, I'm about to take it on remote, but somehow she doesn't even know. So I say, could you please cross all the windows? She's like, how should I cross them? How should I cross them?
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
That was pretty good.
I'm like, ma'am, could you please close all the windows? So she's okay, hold on. And then she came back after 35 seconds. And I'm like, ma'am, I see none of the windows are closed. I close all the windows of my home. What else do you want? Okay. And
That's pretty funny.
yeah.
That's pretty funny.
And then, one of the ladies called and says, I said, hi, my name is Sushil. How can I help you? She's like, the coffee tray which you gave in my computer, it's not going in. What did you do with the coffee tray? So the CD player, she thought it's a coffee tray. When she's working, she's supposed to keep the coffee.
Yeah, I don't know.
And it used to be always women, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, it was I love that women are held to a higher standard than let's just get married and make babies now. And I love that, but it's hard to defend because America is so do whatever the hell you want. We don't care.
Yeah.
You do
But
whatever.
do you think that idea is good? Like telling people do whatever the hell you want.
I think it's good as in it enables more people to achieve amazing heights. It's bad as in it's also letting people fall behind. You had a generation of people that just wanted to play video games and there was no money in it. And they did it just because they wanted to. And then by chance, it became so popular to watch that these kids can become millionaires.
But how many of them are millionaires? That's my question.
Right, not many.
Like, let's say 1 million boys are doing it. 15, 20 of them are millionaires.
Max.
What happened to others? They all are still fucked.
Right. It's I don't remember the exact statistic, but it was like 2023. It was like 60% of all high schoolers want to be social media personalities. They want to make a living from Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
They don't want to make Instagram. They don't want to make Facebooks.
No, they do. That's where they want to earn their living.
No, but they want to go on Instagram and make a video. They want to be a content creator.
Right.
My question is, you don't want to be the maker of Instagram.
Oh, no. Yeah. See,
Because,
See, this is what I love about India. This is how I describe them. Everything that made America the dominant country in a few hundred years. It's a very young country, and I mean, everyone has the U.S. dollar as a. They did. You can't deny it. America killed it. Everything that made America great, India. All those values, that grit, all that grind, India has right now. If somebody's poor and has no resources, they're going to go and take dirt off the side of the road and try to sell it to tourists.
Yeah, it happens.
Where America, they're just like, no, I'm good. I'm just going to live off the government. This is what you want. This is satisfying for you. So I think this, do whatever you want. You get both ends of the spectrum, but then you get people like Google, Bezos. You get Elon Musk. You get all these people that revolutionize whatever field they're in. And then you also, unfortunately, get a chunk of people that are like, I'm good just living and dying, not doing anything. I don't like that. I can't imagine that as fulfilling. I'm not going to speak to them though.
So this brings me to the concept of entitlement. Understand? For example, in India, there are political parties. We used to have kings as well in past. Let's say a king's son will automatically become a king, or at least a prince. A political leader's son will become a political leader. Okay. The idea of entitlement, that my father is this, I should be this. And then we had caste system, which also said the entitlement thing. If I'm a Rajput, my son is automatically Rajput. However, if you go back thousands of years ago, it was not. It was a very fluid system. So
Was it?
it was a very fluid system.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I'm a Rajput, and if I start doing shit which is of low class, the system will put me back into the low class. And if somebody is a low class and he's doing a wonderful job, system will bring him back, make him a Kshatriya, warrior class. For example, one of the greatest greatest kings of India was Chandragupta Maurya. The Chanakya, you might have heard about Chanakya.
Tell me the story.
Okay.
That's where I really click with my
Okay.
memory.
So Chanakya was a Brahmin. Okay. He used to teach in a university in Takshila 2300 years ago.
Oh.
It was a big university called as Takshila. Everybody from China, from Iran, from Greece used to come to study there. He was a professor there. He went to then king named as Ghanananda, okay, who was the king of India, ruling from Bihar.
Okay.
He went to his Raj Darbar and he told him, because his kingdom was getting haywire, because his sons, 7 sons or 10 sons he had, they were all fucked up and they were doing things which were not good. So he's the only guy who came and dared and said it on his face that, you will, he said that, king, you're going to destroy this country because of bullshit which you're doing.
Okay.
So after saying that, the king told Chanakya that, you piece of shit, look at you. You don't even have clothes. You dare to talk to me and my kids like this? Things like that went on. And Chanakya got so angry inside his kingdom. He used to wear a big pony.
Okay.
Because he had long hair.
Okay.
In India, in past, you will see all the hairs are gone from it. And this hair, it's a big pony they used to keep here.
Okay.
So he leaves his pony open and he says, I will not tie this pony until I destroy you and all your kingdom. Okay. But he says that, leaves his kingdom. But then look at the king as well. He could have killed him.
Yeah.
But he said, okay, all right. One Brahmin saying bullshit doesn't matter.
Okay.
So he also believed in that freedom of expression. He's like, okay, get away from here.
Okay.
Chanakya leaves from there and sees a boy who was from a low class, but he's leading a group of 20 boys of same age.
Okay.
He's like, okay, what's your name, boy? He's like, my name is Chandragupta Maurya. Maurya is a low class. He said, okay, don't worry, come with me. And he takes him to Takshila. He teaches him, trains him how to fight, and he makes him a warrior. And then he goes to the kings who are not happy with Ghanananda and tells him that, I have your king, support him. Some of them support him, so he makes an army, comes and attacks his kingdom. He loses.
Oh.
Okay. He loses. Chanakya was not in the fight, but the king loses, and he was hurt, bleeding. He runs away to the mountain of Gir in Gujarat. He's bleeding. Okay. But while he's dying, 4 lions come out and they protect him from the invaders. So these invaders were about to kill him. The lions come out and protect him from the invaders. Okay. And one of the rishis who are living in that jungle comes out. He takes care of him, makes him better, and then again he attacks.
Okay.
And this time he wins. And this time when he wins, then Chanakya becomes the greatest administrator in the world actually.
Okay.
Because he wrote a book called Arthashastra. 23-year Chanakya's Arthashastra, 2300 years ago. And if you read that book, you will see, America is running on Arthashastra.
Oh, is
he
it?
wrote, they still do it. In American colleges, especially the army colleges, military colleges, air force colleges, they make you read Arthashastra.
Really?
It is a mandatory for you to read. Like there was this guy called as Machiavelli.
Yeah.
Machiavelli was a kind of a copycat of Chanakya, but he
Yeah.
wrote like a 50-page book. Chanakya writes what is the kingdom's PR, how the king should run his PR, how the king should behave with his people when somebody is attacking, how the king should behave with his people when nobody is attacking. Chanakya writes the entire story of his kingdom in Sanskrit. So we have, and then have you seen that Ashoka's pillar which has 4 lions?
I'm sure I'd recognize it.
Can
Yeah.
you show it to him? Because you might
Ashoka.
have seen in the Rashtrapati Bhavan.
Yeah.
You went to
Ashoka already
Rashtrapati Bhavan, yeah.
sounds familiar.
Ashoka ke 4 pillars. You see that? There are 4 lions on all 4 sides.
Yep.
Okay. People call it Ashoka's lion, but they were not Ashoka's lion. They were Chandragupta's lion.
Oh, yeah.
Because those 4 lions saved him. So he decided to make these statues. His grandfather,
Okay.
Ashoka's real grandfather, he decided to make these statues across India. Okay. So I'm trying to tell you that India has India is not respected what we have.
He made it for you as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
His name is Pancham. He's coolest guy, and he is one person. He will fix this wall. He will do the plumbing. He will do the electrician thing.
Oh,
I'm so
yeah.
lucky to have it.
Yeah, we call those handymen, and they're killing it in America because all the men are so spoiled.
Yeah.
They don't know how to do it anymore. They have to call people like you now.
Did you get a chance to watch that movie Gran Torino?
Is that a car
Clint-
movie?
Clint Eastwood.
Oh, no,
Torino.
no, that's a bit
90.
older.
Yeah.
I'm sure I watched it with my grandfather.
Mhm.
I'm sure if I see it, I would recognize
Oscar
parts.
One winner or nominated or some shit.
Yeah.
Can you click Gran Torino?
Grand.
It's
Torino.
not that old. It's more recent,
It must-
right?
it must be
Yeah.
more recent. Yeah. In 2008. Yeah, that Clean
Yeah,
Eastwood,
he was
Clean
in.
Eastwood,
Yep.
2008. So in that movie, this is what the message of the movie is: that as a man, you're supposed to do every chore of your home. Like, so we would okay, let me bring you back to the entitlement. So if you're a son of a king, so as I told you that in past it used to be a fluid thing.
Mhm.
That Chandragupta Maurya, who can be a scheduled caste, can become a Kshatriya.
Okay.
Because and somebody who is a Kshatriya can also become. There are examples who are Kshatriya, they became Brahmins because they studied well.
Okay.
It used to be very fluid. When he got attacked by invaders, especially the Muslim invaders, that's when it got rigidified.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Muslim. I thought the British
No, British
brought
were
the
like,
system back and tried to enforce it a little more.
yeah, in British started it in 200. We made it rigid when the Mughals, when these
Gotcha.
Muslim invaders came, because we wanted to protect our religion somehow.
Okay.
We didn't want to get converted into other people. So we made it rigid.
So Indians made it rigid themselves. It wasn't
Themselves,
forced on them.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So
No,
just
I
don't
thought it
want-
was forced on them.
No, they wanted to convert to other religions. So we
Hmm.
decided to make our religion rigid so we don't get converted easily.
Hmm.
So Brahmins decided to push really hard to make sure that we remain the way we were.
Okay.
So again, British made sure that the people are divided in castes so that they can rule easily.
Mhm.
So British would come and tell you, you know what, you're this caste, these people are assholes, they're ruling on you.
gotcha, yeah.
So you do this to them, okay? So that's what happened. Okay? But then if you go back, you will see that Brahmins decided to rigidify caste because they saw that, okay, and the Will Durant, an American historian, wrote, had the Indians not stopped Muslims in 700, the entire world would have been a Muslim. The entire world, none of them would have been Christians. That's what he writes, that Indians died, killed, to make sure that the world religion is protected.
I actually did a video on that. It was a girl, just a spoiled, pretty little girl on
Mhm.
TikTok. She was just like, "What's up with India? You know, you never hear about them. What's good with them?"
Uh-huh.
Like, I'm not saying it's bad. I don't hear bad, but like, are they even relevant? And my reaction was like, "Bitch, you think they're relevant? The fastest growing economy in the world, their freaking military tactics we still use today. They were constantly invaded hundreds and hundreds of years because they had, it was 34% of the world
True.
GDP.
Yeah.
30% of all wealth on the planet was in India.
Yeah.
And that video went massive. And I was like, oh, okay.
We Indians love when white people praise us.
Listen, I know that's the cheat code. I know that's the cheat code. My first video that ever went viral was my 1 month review of India. And at the time I had like 20,000 followers. That's a big number. And I was like, all right, India, I don't like your roads. I don't like your infrastructure. I don't like the smog. What I love though are the freaking people. What makes you special is the people.
Uh-huh.
And it was like, oh, you have 20,000? Here you go, 50,000. Yo, is this the
It
recipe?
works.
And it was it is so hard not to abuse that
Mhm.
just to entertain.
But then let me also interrupt you and tell you that
Please.
Indians love honesty. Had you not said that had you said, oh, I love your roads too, they'll be like, oh, he's a liar.
Yeah, no,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah. I do see a couple of people like abusing it, just being like, there's some kid, he has like 8 million followers. I think he's Ukrainian,
Okay.
and he does these videos of like France versus Italy, or France versus India, Turkey versus India, and he'll go through every country in the world. He'll always pick India. You're like, what are you basing this off of? Because have you been to like other countries? Like China's infrastructure, even though it's low quality, looks amazing.
It does. And
It's
okay, I'm sorry,
gorgeous.
but China is doing a wonderful job.
There,
I'll say this with all honesty. My wife has been there for like 8 to 10 days, and she was like, bro, the country is cool.
I really like. I lived there for 3 years, had a career
Yeah,
there.
better.
I was in some giant productions there. I really do love the Indian or Chinese people. Scared of the government. Their infrastructure pretty as hell. Everything's shiny and new. The bad thing is, their cities. The second you get outside the cities, it's slums in like one street,
Wow.
and they really try to enforce foreigners not going out there.
Okay.
But because I was doing Chinese propaganda movies,
Uh-huh.
I did a movie. This is a real line. I just beat up the hero of the movie. I'm standing over him. I'm just bloody. I have a shovel in my hand, about to kill him. He's like, "You will never destroy the Chinese communistic spirit." I'm like, "Capitalism will rule the world." and I go to kill him.
And then you could easily mean it.
Yeah, I mean, was I in character? I don't know. Was it Kyle speaking?
I know.
Yeah, and so like I've absolutely done the propaganda, and it's the other thing is their infrastructure are tofu buildings, is what we call them. They're shiny and gorgeous, but they are really built under quality.
Seriously.
Yeah, you're constantly the news media there is controlled by the government,
Mhm.
100% controlled. But the dark net, the
Dark web, yeah.
dark web,
Uh-huh.
no, not dark net. You can get news from there, and there's riots in the South, people rebelling against the country. This school just had this roof collapse. There's a couple of channels on YouTube. That's all they do is give Chinese news, and they just go to the dark web to be like, oh, you have a video of that bridge collapsing with people on it, and then China claimed they destroyed it on purpose to build a new bridge, even though the bridge is going to take a year to build. So it's, yeah.
So more of a PR.
Yeah, I love the people. The people are great. I think it's, no offense to any country, but scenery, they're natural mountains, and the most beautiful country in the world. I truly think that. But their infrastructure, even though it's new, it's really low quality.
So the topic was left in between.
Yeah,
This
sorry.
thinking of BEI actually, the diversity, equity, and
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
which you made that video of.
Yeah.
The sense of entitlement is not only in nepotism. For example, I decided, okay, all the white people who are in India will definitely get a job as a vice president,
Okay,
hypothetically.
sure.
Okay, so all the white people will definitely get a job as a vice president. So now you're white,
Mhm.
you think you're entitled. Bro, this is a law, I should get a job. And that is where the merit is killed and the reverse
Right.
racism starts.
Right. I mean, look at your rice and grain analogy. I guarantee a lot of those 880 million people
Uh-huh.
now feel entitled to it, and they're not grateful anymore.
Because if you stop it, you will lose the election.
Yeah.
It's as serious as that. Because we, the people who have made a little bit of money, we don't go out to vote. These are the people who vote.
Sure.
Don't fuck with them.
What is it called? Bread and circus.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So the Romans, they were Romans, right? They would distract the poor with bread and circus, and they're like, life isn't that bad. I got bread and I have a circus. Like, this is pretty good.
That gladiatorship.
Yeah,
people
all
fight
that
and kill each
stuff.
other, yeah.
Just to distract.
But then when once you start doing things like that, that is where you know for sure that your kingdom is about to die. If you're reaching to that level, just to be in power, that's where the real problem starts. That's what I think.
No, I agree with you. That being said, like, I don't know India well enough to know if that's happening here. I don't feel it happening here. I just know that all the qualities I've met from people in my life that kill it, do well, no matter what they pursue, they win because of certain qualities. I see more Indians with those qualities than any other nation.
We are
in the world
1.4
right now.
billion of us, right? You will
Yeah.
always see us. Because some of us will always be on top.
Sure. I mean, I just feel like Indians are very hungry right now, and they have really good morals and ethics in general. There's always exceptions. Like I have to fight tooth and nail to get my paychecks in India.
You actually might mean it as well.
No, I'm not. I'm not exaggerating. I did a social media gig 2 years ago. So when I come to India, I usually spend like 3 months here, 3 months here in a year. So like half the year I'm here, but it's spaced over the year. 2 years ago was the first time I was here. I did a social media job. Still haven't been paid for it. I did a movie a year ago. I don't want to say the movie, but it's a giant movie. Still haven't paid me. It's just random.
Why are they not paying you?
So I didn't know this. So in America, when you make a movie, you get the money, you make the movie. You film nonstop, you make the movie. Here in India, they tried to do that, but people are scared to invest. So what they do is they get enough money to make a quarter of the movie, a third of the movie. They make it, they edit it, and then they take that quarter and third of a movie and go to more investors. They're like, look what we did. We need a little more money to finish this. So these movies will film for like 3 months, take like 6 months off. Film for 3 months, take a year off. And so they're fundraising that the whole time. And every single movie, every single one has
Did
done
they
it.
make some money in the market when they released, or
Yes, that's the hope.
but they're still not paying?
Yeah, it's just I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's intentional or they just don't know how to budget and produce well. You're a business owner. How many people do you actually trust to?
I have one rule, very thumb rule, which I always follow. The people who are working for you, they wait for their salary on that one day. Make sure that you pay them on that day.
You have to keep it. That's morale.
Yeah.
I mean, what I don't remember the saying, but it was like morale is the quickest army killer, the quickest military killer.
Absolutely.
Like morale. So it's now that you said that, this movie that hasn't paid me in a year, they're like, hey, we need you to we want to resume filming in a month. I'm like, I'm not going to even consider it until you pay me. And I don't know if I'm going to consider it even after you pay me.
No, but
I don't
that's
trust you
where-
guys.
That's where you went wrong. See, let me give you some tips
Please,
how to
tell
take
me.
money out from Indians, okay? Let's do the role play, okay? Okay, so now you're the movie guy and I'm you, okay?
Guy.
Hey, probably a South Indian movie, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Chinnaswamy, you haven't paid me from last 1 year. You want to act more. Say what he said to you.
We are so
Is it-
sorry, Kyle. we are so sorry, Kyle. We are putting the money together. You are still our priority,
Uh-huh.
but we just have to get the funds together.
Okay, sure. Can you do me a favor? You know what? These days I'm really suffering financially. Can you like send me like 50% of what you owe me, and we'll start again. Okay. Like, can you just send me like 50%? Because you know I'm really suffering. Okay, I'm in India. I need some expenses to take care of. Just send me like if you owe me 50 lakhs, send me just 25 lakhs, please. If you do that, I'll just come. We'll start again. You know me how I am, right? I'll make sure that I do it.
That's pretty convincing. Like I felt a little guilty and bad.
Yeah.
That's pretty convincing.
Yeah,
Is that really a tactic here? Do people really do that? Being like, hey, I have a medical bill. You gotta
No,
pay me.
But don't we all have issues?
Yes.
Like basic I did not lie. Did I lie to you? Like I am living and I need some expenses for it.
Yeah.
Can you pay 50% to me?
Sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, now you got your 50%. Okay. Now show up on the set and again push in the same way that, you know, yeah, I have something else. And then, you know, can you pay me 50% of it?
I'll be honest, I haven't been doing that. I've been muscling them, being like, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
I am not going to work with you. Pay me my money now, or I'll go to my social media.
Uh-huh.
Like, that's what I've been doing. You're laughing at me too.
Yeah.
He's like, I would never do that.
Because you know, this is how it works in India. So we have a recruitment firm and a software company. So what happens in that? I work for you, and then so let's say I have done my job.
Hmm.
From today to 3 months, I'm not supposed to get paid. After 90 days, I'll raise an invoice,
Okay.
and then you will pay me after 45 days of raising my
Okay.
invoice. And most of the fucks pay me after 45 days only.
Sure.
Like ideally, it's the statement that the contract is that within 45 days you can pay him.
Okay.
But then they're always on the 45th day they decide to pay you.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And then another thing is that Indian Fortune 500 companies owe me money, and I'm kind of proud of it. Ask him. Some of them owe me like 50 lakh rupees.
Tons of money.
Yeah.
Crazy
They owe
money.
me, yeah. But they're paying me. But they're like, sometimes they'll send me 2 lakh, they send me 3 lakh.
That's what they do to me. Like I have people that owe me lakhs and they're like, here's a little bit. I'm like, what are you doing? I know you have my money. The producer told me you have my money. And they'll just, here's a few lakhs. Here's a few lakhs.
Yeah.
And I've just been responding like, thank you, but this is nonsense. Give me my money. It's my money.
But in India, my only solution to you is because see, you're a Gora. Gora means you're white.
Okay.
So anybody who's a Gora can get paid really well, as long as you are giving your words and you're playing that. You're an actor. You just have to play sweet, and you have to like. I really need it this time. I hope you understand. Don't do it too much,
Okay.
but do a little bit. I mean, I thought you've been great, and I still think that just help me out this one time. Okay.
Wow, I have not been. I've been going about this the exact wrong way. And I mean, Indian people are so sweet and thoughtful.
But they will never pay you.
Yeah, no, it's like pulling teeth.
It's
You-
like, I'm holding my money in my right hand and all the love is in my left hand. You want it? You want love? Okay, money is here.
Do you feel this plays on an international stage as well? Like Indian companies that are doing business internationally, do they pull this nonsense as well?
See, I'll tell you another thing. So these fucks I'm working with, they get paid the same day I get the resource to them. Same day they get paid.
Great.
But they push me to wait for like 4.5 months.
Okay.
But they get paid. For example, in my call centers, I get paid in 6 days, 7 days, 15 days.
Okay.
Some of the businesses I get paid in advance, and that's when I start.
Great.
Okay, so Americans have a very good professional way of doing business, and that's why they're the richest country in the world. Indians are, we use a term in Hindi called as leechad.
Okay.
Leechad means somebody who will always say, after 2 days,
Sure.
give me 5 more days.
Okay.
Let me handle it. I am already in talking to someone.
Yeah, sure.
So,
And the leeches?
leechad.
Leecher.
Yeah, leechad
Like
is fine.
like a leecher?
Yeah, like a leech,
Okay.
like a parasite.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that you say that, they're the most sweet people, but they're also like, we have your money.
Yeah, absolutely. They want you to see. I don't know. India is driven by, our psyche is driven by being safe. Okay, that's why you will see in India, people always go for jobs before they start something of their own, because we want every month something should come to me. Indians believe in saving money instead of spending money. So
Smart.
if I'm not paying you, that means I have you with me. You stuck with me.
Mhm.
So I owe you the money. That is one way to arm twist you whenever I want to, because I'll give you something, so you don't run away from me.
Okay.
Okay. So you'll always be with me because I'm not saying I'm not giving you money.
Right.
And it might be that I have all the intentions to pay you.
Right.
However, I'm just giving you 5 lakh rupees out of 50 because I want you to be around me. Don't run away. Just
Ooh.
keep doing the shows or whatever I want you to.
That feels so manipulative, which I don't know how India views that. In America, we don't like that. China, they actually reward you for doing that.
Okay.
If you can manipulate people in China, you're smart, you're clever.
India is also, the old cultures are like that. You guys are new culture. That's why you're
Yeah,
like,
you're right. We are a new culture. Ooh, we're so spoiled in America. Like bartering, I'm like, what's that? You
oh, you have never, okay, all right.
no, never. I
This
was
brand which you're wearing right now, this thing, yeah,
Mhm.
for the barcode. My wife never pays any social media.
oh yeah,
She always like, I'll give you the clothes.
okay.
Yeah, keep the clothes. That's fine with us. But I'm not going to pay you.
Yeah, no, the first couple of months I was here, like the rickshaw driver would not flip the meter and he's just like 400 rupees. And it would be like
that is one thing which I hate.
it would be like 10 minutes. I'm like, okay.
No, but
and
I
I-
hate it. I hate that thing that somebody's trying to fool the foreigners. But I have been fooled in America as well.
There's scammers everywhere.
Uh-huh.
Scammers everywhere.
So the darkness of heart is not a culture's propriety.
Yeah, sure. Right. Right. That's another thing. Like I've done a couple of videos of like people like, this is why I'll never go to India.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, because of the rickshaw driver spitting on the street, you're taking like the worst silly thing. You're taking like people not getting their money on time and you're letting it take up your whole view of the country. There's a lot of stuff that's awesome in India.
Yeah, yeah.
And anyways,
And then how much 400 is? Like if you look into it, the American. Come,
like,
come. That's my daughter. That's my
Hi.
other daughter.
hi.
That's her friend.
Hi.
Can you say hello to him? He's a Hollywood actor.
Hello.
Hi.
She's looking at your face. He's a white man.
Have you
Say hello?
have you
Shake his
seen,
hand. It's
have you
okay.
seen white people before?
No.
Oh,
In
okay.
your school, you have white people. You have a white teacher. I have seen her. How come you didn't see her?
Ah,
I have seen her.
Yeah, it's okay. We're very silly looking.
they-
she
No,
laughs.
no,
She's
they're-
like, yeah.
They're the most handsome people, actually.
I-
Can you call mom as well?
Mom, okay.
Where is mom? Call her so she
I
can
will
meet
see you upstairs.
and we can take this easy both so
Yeah, she's adorable, by the way.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
she was, yeah, very adorable. The other friend was just, she has big, beautiful eyes, but she's just like,
She goes to the boxing every day and she's pretty strong.
freaking love that. I love, like, encouraging these women to do that stuff.
Yeah.
Because even men can overpower women so easily just and so I just love that women just learn, because women, it's very hard for them to generate enough power to defend themselves. The average man can swing hard enough to knock you out.
Yep.
The average woman cannot. She needs technique.
Absolutely.
So it's the great
So
equalizer.
there's a small story to it. One of the okay. So one of the boys of our age was beating her,
Yeah.
and she was also fighting. However, she's slow because she's a woman. So he hits her on her face a couple of times. Okay, so hear me out. Okay, so he hits her on her face, and when she's literally beaten badly, so she comes to me, and I'm watching it. Okay,
Okay,
yeah, I'm watching it. I'm just standing and watching it,
sure.
and she's beaten.
Oh,
badly.
this is boxing class, right?
No, not boxing.
Oh.
School. And she was not into boxing.
Okay.
She's just she's a normal girl. Okay, so she comes to me, and no, but he starts hitting her hard, so I just go and I say, enough.
Okay.
So she comes and says, Papa, let's go. She started crying, Papa, let's go. I said, no, 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 no. You will stand here and you will watch everybody who's watching you beaten.
Okay.
I want you to stand here and play for next 10 minutes because I don't want you to run away from here. Okay. So she just stood there, she played for 10 more minutes, and then we came back. And then I said, you want to go to boxing? So nobody beats you like this. She's like, yes, for sure. And that's when she went to the boxing.
I love that. We have this thing in America called gentle parenting.
Huh.
And gentle parenting is like, if your child gets hurt and they're crying, you have some really big emotions right now, and your kid is like screaming and hitting you like the kids do when they're having tantrums. Oh, big emotions, but mommy doesn't like being hit. Instead, here you're just like, yo, I'm gonna flick you
Uh-huh.
if you do that.
No, no, she
And
gets
you-
slapped sometimes.
Yeah,
Don't
just,
say.
it's so healthy.
My mom used to beat me like as if I'm not her kid because I was a very spoiled brat, I never used to listen to her. She used to beat me like she used to put her knees on my chest and she used to hold both my hands and she used to slap me.
Wow. Okay, that might be a little too intense for
No,
me.
but my mother used to do that to me.
Any corporal punishment
Uh,
done out of anger, that's not punishment. You're just relieving your stress. My dad would like flick us, do a pretty hard flick, and he'd, ow, oh okay, little stuff like that, or like a light slap on the head. That's freaking. Nothing wrong with that. In America, there was a time where if you did that, they would literally call the police on you. That's child abuse. And then they wonder why all my generation is spoiled, unrealistic,
Yep.
entitled.
Okay, one last question because we are getting very close
Yeah,
to the end.
otherwise.
What is your message to the young aspiring actors, and keep it
Don't make acting your focus. Find a job, find a trade, find something that enables you to act. That saves, you can save up a little money, and then you can take that money and make it. Me, like an idiot, I got really, really good at acting, and I thought it was a meritocracy. It's like football. If you get the best at football, you will get a contract. You will get. It's not at all at acting. Not even a little bit. Same with social media. You're not entitled to anything. Luck plays a huge part in opportunities. The analogy I give is
go ahead.
the analogy I give is be prepared for opportunities. Opportunities are scary because you're usually not prepared. You got to step up to do it. If everything went as you thought it would, like, oh, I'm going to get this acting job in 2 years. That's the plan. That's never going to happen. Ever, 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 ever. So don't rely on acting to have a career. There's 5 things you need to be a good actor. You need resume, that's experience. You need connections. You need money, novelty, and training. So you need some combination of this. I'm poor, came up poor, so I had no money, I had no connections. That means the other 3 things, time on set, training, and resume. I think that I just got confused. I needed to make those big and massive to make up for everything else. If you have a lot of money and connections, you don't need to be talented. You don't need the resume. You don't need the history. You don't need any of that. So know what your value is. Know how you're coming into the market. Play to that. That's seriously, I can't stress it enough. And don't become an actor because you want to be a celebrity. It will never happen. We can see authenticity. Authenticity is king. If you truly love acting, then you're going to be a celebrity. Then you're going to make a living. Don't go in it to be a celebrity. I've never heard of it working for anybody.
And then lastly, but not the least, that you do what you have to do so you can do what you want to do.
Yes.
Kyle, thank you very much for coming to our show. It was fun.
Thank you. You're by far the best conversation I've had in a podcast.